Hi, friends. How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well, and I miss you all very much. And I am, like I promised earlier this week, I am coming to you from different parts of our chapel here at Calvary. It's very different in here. It's quiet. It's not the same, but I'm hoping that it's going to be back to normal here real soon. I miss you all dearly, and I hope you're doing well. And I wanted you to know that I'm praying for you every day. And I want to share a lot of what's going on this week in the church with you because it's so important for us to remember and not forget. And I think it would be easy for us to forget during this time, but I want you to remember that God loves you, and God loves you so much. And this week we get to celebrate just how much God loves you. Today I'm going to be reading from the book of John, and we're going to be talking about Maundy Thursday. And it's really important for us to talk about it because there's so much greatness that happens during this day and continuing on throughout the week until we get to Sunday. The word is Maundy. I'm Southern. I have a Southern accent, so sometimes it comes out in different ways. But it's spelled, just so you know, Maundy. It's not Monday, Thursday. That doesn't make any sense, really, does it? But that word, Maundy, means something special, and it means something important. And we're going to get to it in a second. But first, I want to read from the Gospel of John for you. There's so many beautiful lessons that can be taught during this time. But I'm going to read starting at John chapter 13. Now, before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from his world and to go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put it in the heart of Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God, was going to God. He got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. And then he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You do not know now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Peter said to him, "Lord, you will never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, then not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "One who has bathed does not need to wash except for the feet, but is entirely clean. And you are clean, though not all of you." For he knew who was to betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he had washed all their feet, he had put on his robe and then returned to the table. You might not, when I read that about Jesus washing his disciples' feet, he didn't just wash Peter's feet, he washed all of them, even the one that he knew was going to betray him. He took care of him because he loved him. You might not think that that's such a big deal, but let me explain something to you. You see, we get pedicure, we go and get pedicures and things like that all the time, and it's not that big of a deal. But back in Jesus' time, they wore sandals on their feet. They didn't have shoes to cover their whole foot. And if you think about the roads where they traveled, walking, they would walk for miles within a day. The walking was their main mode of transportation, especially the disciples. They walked everywhere together on those dirty, nasty roads. And let's think about something else. The other modes of transportation involved livestock, like donkeys and horses, camels, all in the streets, all together, all dirty. I'll let you use your imagination on that one. So it was customary before you entered a home to have a wash basin there at the door and have your feet washed. Now, that job was not for the head of the household. That job wasn't for the servant serving food. That job was meant for the lowliest of servants. And right there, Jesus knelt down, put himself last, and showed his servanthood to his friends, to his people, and washed their feet. What a beautiful, glorious lesson. Right there in that one act of washing his disciples' feet, he showed them how to love one another and put each other first. Amen.